There is a wondrous province in northern Georgia, situated in the mountains of the Central Caucasus, Svaneti, home of the Svan people. The people born into this ancient culture have lived far away from civilization for centuries. Some 80 families live in the mountain village of Ushguli. The picturesque medieval community is 500 kilometers away from Georgia's capital, Tbilisi. At an altitude of about 2,500 meters, whatever soil can be found is barren. A lot of manual work is necessary to wrest the bare minimum needed to live from it.
Being a Svan goes together with being strong. It also means being someone who has weathered a lot of hardship in life. Our ancestors have had to bear a lot of misery and constantly battled against it. We Svans are strong, industrious, and loyal. Being a Svan means a lot to me.
It is autumn in Svaneti. The inhabitants of this secluded mountain valley are preparing for a long, harsh winter. It comes with a vengeance every year and completely cuts off this mountainous region from the outside world for 6 months. To survive in this inhospitable world, the Svans have set firm rules. The man is the undisputed head of the family. The woman's realm is the house and her children.
In the winter, when the road is closed, it's impossible to get to a doctor. And I really worry about the children, especially since in winter it's easier to catch something. This is when I start thinking about taking the children and moving away from here.
It's very unusual for Svans to leave their home. As a matter of fact, their cult of the dead keeps them virtually fettered to this soil. This cult determines their entire life. The Svans believe that the souls of the deceased live on and look after the well-being of the living. When it begins to rain in Svaneti, people know the winter is just around the corner. Chopping firewood is one of the essential jobs before winter sets.
Today I have to help my cousin. The axe has to be really sharp to make the job easier. We want to chop another 10 cubic meters of wood, which is about 10 sled loads.
Gia Niziradze has been married to Nani for 11 years. She comes from a neighboring village. The Niziradze are one of the most respectable families in Ushguli.
We must be finished before the rain gets stronger. Hurry up.
It seems that the invention of the wheel has still not reached this area in the Central Caucasus. Just as thousands of years before, Svans transport heavy loads by means of traditional ox-drawn sleds across the rough terrain. Vegetation grows sparsely on the steep slopes of the mountain range. At the tree line, there are no more conifers, only birch trees.
We try to fell as little timber as possible, but we need the firewood. Who knows what the future will bring? Proverb of us says, "Preserve the forest and think of your children when you cut down a tree. This is a father's duty."
The people in the mountain villages of Svaneti live almost exclusively from agriculture. Their work has remained unchanged for centuries. While the men are out in the forest or in the fields, Women see to the livestock and the household. To live in Ushguli, one must be prepared to sacrifice a lot of things and work hard. At least 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that includes all family members. Ancient Greek historians and geographers mention the Svans and describe them as a tribe of warriors. Svans have always resisted slavery and fought against foreign suppressors. The stone towers from the 11th and 12th centuries bear witness to this. In times of war or long-lasting blood feuds, these towers offered a family protection from their enemies. An extended family could barricade itself inside a tower for months. Even today, nearly every house in the village has its own old tower, but nowadays they serve a different purpose.
Here are our food supplies for the winter. Stewed fruit, aubergines, carrots, and peppers. And here is the meat, dried and cured for the winter. The cheese is kept in barrels in brine. The salt water preserves it for the whole winter. The salt is in this sack. It makes the cheese go hard.
Whatever supplies are superfluous to the family's needs are sold on the markets in the nearby villages, especially the cheese. Svaneti cheese is considered a delicacy well beyond Georgia's borders. It's made by hand from fresh cow's milk, following a traditional recipe without any additives. The men return from cutting down trees. A Svan proverb says, if a family doesn't have enough good wood for the fire, the man is a disgrace to his family. Therefore, the two men see to it that they bring enough wood home. All heating and cooking in the winter is done with wood. There is a power line up to the mountains, but electricity is often cut off. So having sufficient firewood for the winter is vital. Wood is also needed for distilling schnapps. Svans like their alcohol. So as not to be left without in the winter, they dissolve old bread in water and ferment it by adding yeast. The brew is then distilled. Traditionally, Svans must have enough schnapps in the house not only for themselves, but also for guests and for the deceased.
We're not done with the winter preparations yet. We have the hay, but we need wood from the forest. I must take the potatoes to the market to sell. With the money from the potatoes, we can buy other supplies for the winter.
The drinking of alcohol in Svaneti follows some set rules. One of them is toasting.
To Georgia, to a good future for our country, to our family, our people and our land, peace for the country and the whole world, and may our country always be victorious. To Georgia, our blessed country, I wish that the future brings joy, and that it always remains united. I wish our people happiness and all the best for us.
The new brew seems tasty, but will it be enough to last the winter? For Nani Nisaradze at home, it's time to make breakfast for her 5 children. The standing of a Svan family is connected with the number of children it has, especially male ones.
Children are the most important thing in life. They are both a challenge and a huge responsibility. I live for my children. Not long ago, I was in Mestia, the provincial capital, and saw that progress is finding its way in. I hope that the situation will soon change here in Ushkuli too, and that my children will live in better conditions than I have. That they will have better life than we did.
It goes without saying that the children go to school. School attendance is compulsory for 9 years in Ushkuli. Conditions in the small community school are ideal. There is one teacher for every 3 or 4 children. Although Svans speak their own language, the lessons are taught in Georgian. Svanuri, the local language, has no written form. The curriculum covers grades 1 to 12. But in a school as small as this, teachers have to improvise.
There are not many children in the village, so I have to teach 2 classes together. It's a bit difficult because of the different ages and material. The 2 younger children are learning the alphabet, and the older boy is doing maths. I must say that children here are noticeably smarter than those in the city. Unfortunately, though, there are fewer courses here than in larger schools. So, for example, we have no foreign language or dance lessons.